to his very famous family. The Daily Beast reports that this is a win for Prince William, as Prince Andrew will never be photographed alongside Prince William again.
In a stunning turn of events, Prince Andrew's world has just taken another devastating hit. Once one of the most trusted members of the British royal family, his life has spiraled into a series of humiliations, controversies, and public disgrace. But what's just come to light may be the most heartbreaking news yet. Not just for Andrew, but for the entire royal family. From royal duties to private exile, the Duke of York's downfall has been watched by millions worldwide. But insiders close to Buckingham Palace now reveal that behind those palace walls, Andrew's emotional and personal life is crumbling faster than anyone realized. Sources describe sleepless nights, strained relationships, and a shocking new twist that's left even his closest allies speechless. Is this the final chapter in Prince Andrew's royal saga, or could there still be hope for redemption? As whispers grow louder about his deteriorating health, shattered reputation, and family tensions reaching breaking point, it's clear something tragic is unfolding behind the scenes. Stay tuned, because what's happening to Prince Andrew right now might finally explain why the royal family has gone completely silent about him. Prince Andrew's life, once wrapped in the luxury and honor of royalty, has now become a shadow of what it once was. Born into privilege and destined for greatness, he was the Queen's favorite son, confident, charismatic, and deeply trusted by the late monarch. But today that image has collapsed, replaced by isolation, rejection, and heartbreak. What has unfolded in recent months has left even loyal royal watchers stunned, as whispers from within palace walls paint a tragic picture of a man completely undone by scandal, shame, and exile. Ever since stepping back from public duties in 2019, following the explosive fallout from his controversial associations, Prince Andrew has been living a life defined by silence and regret. Once a fixture at royal ceremonies and state events, he now spends his days at the Royal Lodge in Windsor, alone, withdrawn, and cut off from the world he once dominated. Neighbors rarely see him, and when they do, they describe a man aged beyond his years, walking quietly through the grounds, lost in thought. According to royal insiders, the emotional weight of his downfall has taken a severe toll. A close source revealed that Andrew feels abandoned by everyone who once mattered. His daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, remain his only steady source of comfort, visiting him regularly and urging him to stay strong. Yet even their support cannot fully mend the wounds caused by public humiliation and royal rejection. Behind closed doors, things have become even more distressing. Reports claim King Charles III has been privately discussing the possibility of removing Andrew from his longtime home, the lavish Royal Lodge, as part of his plan to downsize royal expenses and distance the monarchy from controversy. For Andrew, losing the lodge would mean losing the last piece of his old life, the one place where he still feels a sense of belonging. "It would destroy him," said one palace insider. "That house is all he has left." Friends have also grown concerned about his health. Those who've seen him in recent months describe him as frail, anxious, and visibly thinner. The confident prince who once carried himself with pride now appears haunted by regret. A former aide shared, "He's barely recognizable." He spends hours reading old correspondence from his military days, almost as if he's trying to relive the years when his life had purpose. Adding to the heartbreak is the fact that Andrew has been completely excluded from major royal gatherings. During public events like Trooping the Color and remembrance services, he's often absent, not invited or quietly discouraged from attending. While other members of the royal family carry on their duties, his name is rarely mentioned, almost as though he's been erased from the royal narrative altogether. Observers say that this complete isolation is beginning to show its emotional cost. "He's living like a ghost inside his own home," another insider noted. The man who once stood beside the Queen on palace balconies now stares out his window in silence, wondering how it all went so wrong. In moments of reflection, Andrew reportedly tells friends that he feels his mother would have handled things differently, that she would have shown him compassion, even if she couldn't protect his title. But with the new reign, compassion seems in short supply. For the Duke of York, the days of royal privilege are long gone, replaced by a haunting loneliness and the crushing realization that redemption may never come, and just when it seems things couldn't get any worse, a new development inside Buckingham Palace has made his future even more uncertain. If Prince Andrew thought time would heal the wounds of his downfall, the reality has been far crueler. The royal family, once his greatest source of protection, has quietly distanced itself from him in a way that feels more like exile than strategy. Insiders say that what's unfolding behind Buckingham Palace doors isn't just a royal reshuffle, it's a calculated decision to erase his influence completely. The shift began slowly. After his public disgrace, the palace issued a carefully worded statement announcing that Andrew would step back from royal duties for the foreseeable future. But behind that diplomatic phrasing was a much colder truth. Within weeks, his military titles were stripped, his official patronages removed, and his public appearances canceled. Overnight, Prince Andrew became the invisible man of the monarchy. Those close to him describe a growing sense of betrayal. For decades, he had stood loyally by the Queen, representing her at state events and overseas missions. To be suddenly cast aside, he reportedly told friends, felt like a knife in the back. According to one longtime associate, Andrew believed that once the storm passed, the family would bring him back into the fold. But that day never came. If anything, the walls around him just got higher. Behind the scenes, King Charles has shown little interest in reopening those doors. Determined to modernize the monarchy and reduce public criticism, the king has focused on streamlining royal operations, and Andrew simply doesn't fit that vision. Sources say that Charles views his brother as a liability, someone whose mere presence could reignite public anger. This has led to growing tension between the brothers, with reports of heated private arguments over finances, property, and status. One particularly painful blow came earlier this year, when Charles refused to grant Andrew permission to use the title His Royal Highness in any official capacity. It may seem symbolic, but for Andrew it was devastating, a sign that his royal identity had been permanently revoked. He took it personally, one aide revealed. He told people it felt like being cut out of the family. Even Queen Camilla is said to have discouraged any attempts at public rehabilitation, fearing the backlash it could bring to the crown. According to one palace insider, Camilla's influence over Charles is strong. She's made it clear that the monarchy can't afford to risk its reputation for Andrew's sake. Meanwhile, Prince William is reportedly even less forgiving. Sources close to the future king suggest he has no desire to see his uncle return to royal life in any form. For William, the focus is on rebuilding public trust, and that means keeping the past buried. William sees Andrew as a threat to the monarchy's image, a royal watcher explained. He's polite in person, but ruthless when it comes to protecting the family brand. The result? A total and painful isolation. Andrew no longer receives invitations to key family gatherings. His name is omitted from official royal communications. Even during major royal celebrations, he remains on the outskirts, watching from afar as the rest of his family moves on without him. For the Duke of York, this silent treatment cuts deeper than any public scandal. It's one thing to face the media's judgment, but to lose the love and acceptance of his own family has left him emotionally shattered. As one friend put it, he still sees himself as part of the monarchy, but the monarchy no longer sees him. And while the public assumes he's quietly fading into obscurity, a shocking new revelation is about to change everything, one that could plunge Prince Andrew's life into even greater heartbreak. Just when it seemed Prince Andrew's troubles had reached their limit, a new and deeply personal revelation has sent shockwaves through Windsor. According to insiders close to the royal household, this isn't about money, property, or public image. It's something far more devastating. What's unfolding behind closed doors has left the Duke of York emotionally wrecked, and for the royal family, it's another nightmare they hoped would never reach the public eye. The whispers began quietly among staff at the Royal Lodge, where Andrew has been living in near solitude. Rumors of serious health concerns started circulating after aides noticed dramatic changes in his appearance and behavior. Once known for his upright posture and brisk manner, he's now described as tired, pale, and increasingly withdrawn. One long-serving employee shared, "He barely leaves the estate anymore. Some days he doesn't come out of his room until afternoon. It's heartbreaking to see." Reports suggest that Andrew has been undergoing medical checkups following a series of health scares earlier this year. Although the royal family has remained tight-lipped, palace insiders claim the situation has caused quiet panic behind the scenes. He's under immense emotional stress, one source revealed. His health has become fragile both physically and mentally. He's trying to stay strong for his daughters, but it's taking a toll. The strain has also reportedly led to increased tension with King Charles. Andrew, who feels abandoned, has been pleading for compassion, for understanding, yet the palace's silence has only deepened his despair. Friends say he feels punished for existing, as though no amount of time or regret can ever restore his dignity. He believes he's being erased from history, a confidant disclosed. And that belief is eating away at him. What makes this revelation even more tragic is how it's affected his relationship with his daughters. Beatrice and Eugénie, though fiercely loyal, have been caught in a painful position, torn between love for their father and loyalty to the royal institution. Both have faced pressure to maintain distance publicly, especially during high-profile events. At the recent royal gatherings, observers noted that Andrew sat far from the main family group, a visual reminder of his isolation. "He's still a father first," one family friend said. But it breaks his heart that his daughters can't stand proudly beside him like before. And as his health and family relationships deteriorate, so does his sense of security. The threat of eviction from the royal lodge still hangs over his head, with growing speculation that King Charles may force him to move out within the year. For Andrew, that property is more than just a residence. It's the last place where he feels a connection to his late mother, Queen Elizabeth II. Losing it would, in his words, be like losing her all over again. Even his longtime companion, Sarah Ferguson, has expressed concern over his well-being. Though the two remain close and share the Windsor property, she's reportedly alarmed by his emotional state. In recent interviews, she's hinted at difficult times for Andrew. Without revealing details, a careful choice of words that has only fueled speculation about the depth of his despair. Behind palace walls, the mood is somber. The once proud Duke, who flew helicopters in war zones and represented Britain with confidence, is now a shadow of that man. He's living day to day, haunted by memories, weighed down by regret, and surrounded by silence. But the true heartbreak may still be ahead, because according to one source close to the family, a final royal decision is about to be made, one that could end any hope of a return and leave Prince Andrew facing a future he never imagined. For Prince Andrew, the past few years have been defined by scandal, isolation, and public disgrace. But the latest revelations suggest that the Duke of York is now facing the most heartbreaking chapter of all, one that could define the rest of his life. Sources inside the royal household claim that the final decision regarding his position, property, and royal identity is imminent, and it's one that leaves almost no room for redemption. The crux of the matter lies with King Charles III, who has been quietly overseeing a long-term strategy to streamline the monarchy and protect its reputation. For Andrew, this has meant a slow but steady erosion of status. Military titles, royal patronages, and official duties have all been stripped away over time. But now, insiders say, the king is considering taking the unprecedented step of removing Andrew entirely from his Windsor residence, forcing the Duke to relocate to a smaller, less prominent property. For Andrew, this isn't just a logistical issue. It's a profound emotional blow. The Royal Lodge has been his sanctuary, the one place where he could feel connected to his late mother, Queen Elizabeth II. Losing it would symbolize a complete severing from the life he once knew. Friends describe him as visibly shaken at the thought of leaving. One insider revealed, "He keeps saying that losing the lodge would be like losing her all over again. He's struggling to come to terms with it." The impact isn't limited to property. Andrew's personal relationships are under strain as well. His daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugénie, remain loyal, but the public scrutiny has made even family connections more complicated. Sources indicate that Andrew has grown increasingly withdrawn, rarely engaging with extended family, and spending long hours reflecting on his past decisions. Even Sarah Ferguson, his longtime companion, has expressed concern, quietly urging him to prioritize his health and well-being. Health concerns, combined with mounting emotional stress, have made this period particularly perilous. Observers note that Andrew has lost weight, appears frail, and exhibits signs of deep anxiety, signaling that the emotional toll may be manifesting physically. Friends worry that continued isolation and uncertainty could have long-lasting consequences. One close aide remarked, "He's haunted by the life he had and the choices he made. It's heartbreaking to watch a man who once commanded rooms now feel invisible." The palace, meanwhile, has maintained a near-total silence. There are no public statements, no reassurances, and no plans to reintegrate Andrew into royal life. Even during family gatherings, he remains on the periphery, a visual reminder of the consequences of scandal and controversy. For the public, the image is clear. Prince Andrew is a man abandoned by the institution he once served loyally. And yet, despite all the setbacks, Andrew's story isn't just about scandal and loss. Observers note moments of quiet dignity, small acts of kindness, and the unwavering bond with his daughters. It's a portrait of a man who has endured public shame, yet continues to search for personal redemption, even if that redemption may never come in the eyes of the royal family or the world, as the palace prepares to make its final decisions. One thing is certain: Prince Andrew's life will never return to the heights it once reached. The heartbreak is real, the isolation profound, and the uncertainty unending. For the Duke of York, the chapters ahead promise a life of reflection, struggle, and an enduring question that haunts him daily. Can a prince truly survive when stripped of everything that once defined him?